Hello everyone, I am Chase here at Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and today we're going to give you a closer look at navigating the Kawasaki OEM parts finder. So whether you own a Brute Force 750, a Terex, maybe a Ninja 650, or a KX450F, today in this video we're going to show you the basic navigation of Kawasaki's OEM parts finder. We're also going to give you some tips and tricks and answer some commonly asked questions to help you find the parts you're looking for. So starting on our home page, you can either hover over the OEM parts tab and use a drop down, or you can just click on it and then select Kawasaki. Now to view Kawasaki OEM parts, you will need to be logged into your Rocky Mountain account. If you don't have an account, you can simply use the quick login and get set up. Once on the OEM page, you will find a couple helpful links, and keep in mind that you can access these two features on any of the OEM schematic pages as well. The first one's going to be live chat. Here, you can chat with an OEM specialist if you're having trouble finding the part you're looking for. Now the other tab is our Kawasaki OEM Part Finder Tips page. Here is a list of tips and tricks that we have put together that are specific to Kawasaki. These are going to help you locate the correct part or maybe help answer a question that you might have. Now we're constantly updating this sheet, so if there's a question you have or something you see is missing, well, let us know. The first category on this page is for model identification. Here it simply explains that Kawasaki lists the model number first, followed by the common vehicle name, and you'll see the example below. Below that are tips for assembly reference numbers, which we'll talk about more once we're looking at the diagrams. They also let you know that most Kawasaki schematics will list the engine seals and bearings with the engine case and not the shaft, which we'll also see a little bit later in this video. And lastly, we explain how to find your machine's model year using the VIN number. Now if you're not sure what year your machine is, not a problem. The 10th digit in the VIN is going to be your model number. For example, a J in the 10th position would indicate either a 1988 or a 2018 model. Just refer to this table at the bottom if you're not sure. All right, so let's take a look at finding some parts. So first we need to select our category. So with Kawasaki, you've got three categories: ATV, motorcycle. Now keep in mind that motorcycle is going to be for street as well as off-road, and you've also got side-by-side. Once you've selected your category, now we need to select the year. Now model years are going to start with the latest models and work their way back. So to get started, we're going to be looking at a 2010 KX450F. For certain models, there will be different options for different countries like Canada and Europe, so just be sure to select the correct model. Now let's talk about finding a specific part and knowing what diagram to select. Now diagrams are listed in alphabetical order and can be accessed using the drop-down menu or by using the list on the left side of the page. And no matter what part you're looking for, think of where the part is on the vehicle and what it connects to or is touching. For example, if we were looking for a countershaft seal, you know it is attached to the crankcase, but it is also touching the countershaft that the front sprocket connects to, which is also a part of the transmission. So looking at the crankcase and transmission diagrams would both be good starting places. Now in the case of Kawasaki, as mentioned on the Parts Finder Tips page, most engine seals and bearings are listed on the crankcase, not with the shaft. So we'll start there first. If we pull up the crankcase diagram, we'll find that the countershaft seal on this schematic is number 92049. Now like we mentioned before with the 92049, this is the first 5 digits of the seal's part number, and it's also our assembly reference number. You'll find the complete part number if you hover over the yellow box with your mouse. You can also add to your cart from there or use that number to find the part number in the parts list below. Now as you look at the diagram, there are some important things you need to know and some tips to help you out. You'll see an arrow at the upper left of the page which will indicate which way is forward or towards the front of the machine. This is going to help with finding parts that are specific to the left or right side of the machine. You can also zoom in and out using the plus or minus buttons at the bottom right or use the scroll wheel on your mouse. You'll also see that some part numbers will have almost the same assembly reference number with just a letter at the end distinguishing them. It's important to make sure that you take that into consideration when you go to add parts to your cart or find a part down below in the parts list. If we go back and we hover over any reference number, a box will appear with the part name, part number, retail price, hour price, and how many are in stock. If it is the part you are looking for, you can add it directly to your cart by clicking the Add to Cart box. Now let's jump over to the clutch schematic. As I mentioned before, the numbers of the diagram correlate to the numbers listed below. On this list under quantity, you may see certain boxes have more than just one for quantity. This indicates the amount of that part needed for complete assembly. If you only need one or maybe two, you can click on the box and change the quantity. Now looking at stock status, you can easily see what is in stock. If an item is in stock, that means we have it in our warehouse and ready to be shipped. Now, we do our best to stock as many parts as possible, but may not stock items that are rarely purchased. If you order a part that is not stocked, we will order the part immediately from Kawasaki and then ship it to you as soon as possible. Now, we work hard to review each diagram to stock the parts that are commonly ordered. If we missed one, our software will recognize it based on sales and we will make it a stocked item. Now, let's move over and look at the radiator schematic. Again, if we're looking at the parts list, you will notice that an item says not shipping. If an item says not shipping, this could mean one of two things. First, the part is old and no longer made by Kawasaki, and second, it may be a brand new part and not yet available. In some situations, there will be an email me when available box. This means that Kawasaki does not have the part in stock and does not have an exact date of when the part will be available. Alright, so now we're going to cover some commonly asked questions, and the first one will be on assemblies. On certain diagrams, you may see a box surrounding multiple item numbers. If we look at the rear hub diagram for our 2010 KX450F, you can see a box labeled 41034 surrounding several part numbers and items. Everything inside the box is a part of the rear hub assembly, so if you need to completely replace your rear hub, you would order part number 41034, and that would include your hub, complete with all the bearings and seals already installed. The next question we'll cover is with color codes. With ATVs, we often get questions about plastic colors. So let's pull up a 2008 Brute Force 650. Now, before we get to colors, one thing we do want to point out is that you will see that they list a few different versions of this machine. Two of them are carbureted models, and the I version is for the fuel injected model. Now, you'll also see that they list special edition hardwood green separately from the regular version. If you have the special edition, you'll need to select that here, as the plastics will be specific on the schematics for that model. This goes for side-by-sides as well. Now, the model we have is the regular carbureted version, so we'll go ahead and select that machine. Now, if we look at the front fender schematic for this Brute Force, you can see that there are 4 colors listed for the front fender: 2 greens, a red, and a black. For certain colors listed, you may see a letter before it. These are just a prefix to that color. For example, this W stands for Woodsman's Green, L is Lime Green, and the S is Sunbeam Red, and black is just black with no prefix. Now, Kawasaki also uses color codes in their part numbers to distinguish the colors. The code will come after the last dash in the part number, and these will correspond to the Kawasaki color code sheet. We have a full list of Kawasaki's color codes, so if you're not sure, you can contact us and we'll help you out. But for the most part, you should be able to find the right color by looking at the name or description of that part. So the next question we're going to answer is with Superseat Aparts. A Superseat Apart is a part that has been replaced by a newer version. You'll see a small red text underneath the part number on the parts diagram list. Now, this part will fit your machine just fine. Kawasaki may have just made a change to that specific part, so it replaced the old part along with the part number. Now, the last question we're going to answer is with standard equipment parts. So if we go to a 2003 KX250 and look at the carburetor schematic, we'll see that the main jet is part number 92063, and then we'll see the letter A through E. If we go down the list and find 92063, you'll see that there are several options for main jet sizes from 160 up to 175. See how the jet size 165 doesn't have option next to it? This indicates this is the stock jet size for this bike. So if you're rejetting or rebuilding your carburetor, this gives you the ability to fine-tune your jetting with OEM parts. This also goes for plenty of other parts like the pilot jet, power jet, needle jet, etc. for this bike and many other machines. Alright everyone, so thanks for watching this video on how to navigate the Kawasaki OEM Parts Finder. Now if you have any questions about this video or you just can't seem to locate that part that you are looking for, well, do not hesitate, you can call in or you can chat live online with one of our friendly CSRs. I'm Chase at Rocky Mountain, thanks for watching.